Shout out to the artists of the studio. Another interview tonight. Artist entitled Jagwa. Last couple songs we played from the artist. The first one we played was the Chinese food, right? Yeah, it just stuck in my mind because Chinese food. Now I'm excited to do this interview because you are an artist that particularly you on my radar before, as far as other things. And when I saw your name came up on the schedule to interview, I was real excited to get to know the backstory behind the artist and also hear your new music. Mm-hmm. So the Chinese food is all for your upcoming EP. You're planning on releasing?
Yeah, it's an upcoming EP with a title of the same name, Chinese food. Yeah.
So we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But let's talk about Jagwa, the artist, for the moment. Where you got your start, the name. Give us a little background about yourself.
Well, I got my start obviously in Jamaica, you know what I mean? I originally came into the business trying to be an artist, you know what I mean? And then I started writing for people, and I wrote a song for an artist called Alizé entitled Jamaica, exactly. Mm-hmm. And then Alizé went to prison for like a year, and the song played for the whole year until he came back out. It was still hot, so that brought me on the radar to a producer called Skepta Borrell, you know what I mean? Cordell Skepta Borrell from Kings of Kings. So he recruited me as a writer for his label, and then my main success as a writer came when I wrote a song for Shabba Ranks and the martial arts rhythm.
Let me stop you right there because before we started the interview, I made sure Johnny had that song in the laptop that we could play later on, so the fans can understand the power of what you've been doing in the industry so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me stop you right there for a minute. Because the martial arts rhythm, you have a lot of credits on that rhythm.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back to the writing stuff. The artist, before you linked with Scatter, Jagwa, the artist. Tell us about your beginnings and where you actually came up from. Was it in Jamaica or you started out as a recording artist? Let us know what you were doing before you linked with Scatter and realized your talent as a songwriter.
Well, it's the same cliche story. I've been doing this since I was young, so I've been writing songs for myself. Like I've been writing original music since primary school. Like original, not anybody's melody, not anybody's lyrics, like original lyrics. My grandma used to record me on the radio and play it back to her friends like, oh look, you did this, blah blah, you know what I mean? So I've been doing that since then. So I ended up in jail at a very young age. And that's where I made the decision to pursue music because everybody in jail was saying that's what you should be doing. You know
so your formative years, was it in New York or was it in Jamaica?
No, this was in Jamaica.
Okay, so in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So around that time, I'm trying to get you to paint a picture for the listeners. So around that time, who would you say were the artists that influenced Jagwa to get into music?
I kind of liked this, you know what I mean, since young I was listening to Shabba Ranks and Super Cat, and then, those were replaced by the Beanies and the Bounties, you know what I mean, so I used to, you know what I mean, pattern those type of artists in terms of the structure of how I wrote my songs. Shining was a major influence because I still to this day say Shining is the only artist that I saw that DJ'd, sang, and rapped and hit in all three genres.
Shout out to Shiny. He's definitely a friend to the room. He's a friend to this room.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shiny.
Yeah, I don't think he got his rightful due where music is concerned. But yeah, Shiny and the Mad Cobras and people like Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchy. Yeah, those were big influences.
Okay, so what part of Jamaica you grew up?
Kingston.
Okay, so you're growing up. These are your influences. You ran into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
You went away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pick it up from there. You came out, you recognized you had the talent. Let's go from there.
Yeah, I came out on probation, so I found out all the police knew me in my area, and and that the probation officer would occasionally drop in, so that kind of propelled me to be in the studio a lot more. So every day I got up, studio, so nobody would see me anymore, you know what I mean? And then it led to me writing songs for people and being a part of the Kings of Kings camp.
Okay, so let me stop you. I've done a lot of interviews, and even the POR network have done even more interviews than that we're privy to. And that's one of the things that we have artists that would come here and they would say that I'm at the studio, I'm doing my songs, but the producer asked me to help them out and do something for somebody else. Is that the case with Jagwa, that you in the studio so much and the producers at that time recognized that you had a talent, that you could help other artists out? How did the songwriting come about in your career?
Well, I had a friend that was a mutual friend with Scatterborough. So when I wrote the song for Alizé, I did it independently. Like Alizé actually hit that person up. He was friends with that person. So I ended up writing the song, and that person's gate basically gave it to him. He recorded the song for Scatter. So Scatter was like who wrote the song, and then that's how my name came up. But Scatter used to see me every day and not know who I was. You know.
So you was at the studio, you were around the artist.
Yeah.
Was it that Alizé knew you had the talent for it? He asked you to write the song for him?
Yeah, because he as I said, he was a friend of the next dude, so he would see me with the dude and I would be at the stage shows and whatever, and he said, yo, I have this beat, and he doesn't know, he didn't know what to put on the beat, so
okay, so Alizé was the first artist that you were able to write for?
I actually wrote for Fargo Voice first. If people remember even that artist, Fargo.
Fargo.
Yeah, I wrote for him. I wrote for Power Man before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first headlining song that you had on a big rhythm actually was
the
for
Alizé
Alizé.
song. Yeah.
Okay, but he happened to get locked up at that point in time. Now, he's locked away. He was the first artist that recognized your talent, that you were able to put a stamp on a big rhythm. Mm-hmm. But he's not on the road at that point in time.
No.
So what's going on for Jagwa at that point in time?
Nothing really, but the song was still hot. So that's what caught the attention, because the song was so hot. Like, the song would not, like, if people are familiar with the dancehall music, dancehall songs don't last longer than a month. It has to be something major to make it last like longer, like, you know what I mean, like a Vibes Cartel being incarcerated, blah blah blah, like something major to make people pay attention to it. And for Alizé, he got locked up for assaulting a police officer. So he did like a year, and for the whole year that song kept him relevant. So that's when the producer of the song was like, who wrote the song?
So Scatter was the first person to seek you out after the success of Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Scatter seeked you out.
Yeah.
And you built a relationship with Scatter. So take us forward from that point in time. What happened after that?
Well, I was at a studio called Mixing Lab, sitting down one day. As I told you, I've been familiar with Scatter for years, but I'm a nobody. So he was asking about me, and he didn't even know what I looked like.
Walking right past.
Exactly, literally. So I was sitting at the studio, and he drove in, and I was telling my friend like, yo, that's the dude that's been asking about me, blah blah blah. Let me go see what he has to say.
He walked past me in the club in Manhattan. So I know what you're talking about. Okay.
So I went to him, and he was like, oh, this is you? Immediately put me in this car, drove me to the studio. Like, yo, I have this beat, what do you think? That was a martial arts beat.
Martial arts, right?
Yeah, so I started kind of making decisions on like what beat to release next, because I was a dude in the streets every night. I used to be in the clubs every night, Monday to Monday, like every night. So I was very in touch with what was going on. So he had a beat called The Famine first. That's the Lexus beat, you know, Old Man Again.
Yes,
that was supposed to come out first, before the martial arts. But then Sizzla Kalanchi recorded the Karate song. Exactly.
Yes.
So I was like, yo, this is the beat. So he ended up flying, I think even the Jamaica was on The Famine, and he flew it on the martial arts, something like that. Yeah, so okay, that's what happened.
Apart from Jamaica on the martial arts, the Shaba on the martial arts.
Yeah.
You also wrote other songs on the martial arts rhythm, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I did. I can't remember exactly, but I think I did.
Your bio gives a lot more credits
Yeah.
for the songs on the martial arts. So
Yeah.
salute to you for that, because that's definitely a classic dancehall rhythm. what other rhythms were you able to work on with Scala in that point in time?
From martial arts.
Martial arts, coolie dance.
Bad Company. Um, next beat, I think the next beat came out in between, and then Coolie Dance came out.
Okay, so from there you moved on to the point where you worked on that rhythm.
Yeah.
Huge rhythm. Where was the first time that you were able to make that connection with Bounty Killer to start that relationship?
That was a Bad Company rhythm.
Bad Company.
Yeah.
Okay, so was that again through Scatter? I don't know who did that back
Yeah,
then.
because
I can't remember.
my role was to write the relevant songs on the beat for the big artists, and then we would allow everybody else to record, but the first probably 5 to 6 songs, that was my job. Like, let's get 5 hit songs for big artists that are sure hits, and then let everybody else record.
So at that point in time, you were doing the songs for the artists. Were you doing the songs with the artists in mind? Even though you were working with Scatter?
Yeah.
Okay, so your first initial meeting with Bounty Killer.
I can't remember my first initial meeting, but I wrote the Killer No Trace.
Killer and Albo.
Yeah, he wrote that for him, and then Scatter got it to him. But I was always in the streets. Like, I was performing with Bounty Killer before I had a song. You get what I mean? Like, I was always in the street. Every stage show I tried to be there. So he kind of knew me already, but this was when he kind of really paid attention to my writing skills.
Okay, so now we're gonna come back to Jagwa the artist, not the songwriter. You the artist. You had the success as a songwriter. When did you decide that you wanted to come back to Jagwa the artist and release music for yourself?
Well, it wasn't really coming back to it. Like, all of these beats that I wrote songs for, I had songs on them as well.
That's what. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So my mistake for saying that. Let me put it a different way. When did you decide? Okay, I've been doing music for other people as well as myself, but I'm gonna concentrate on Jagwa. I'm gonna put out a full body of music for Jagwa. When did you decide that that's the move you wanted to make, and who helped you to make that decision?
Well, nobody really helped me to make that decision. I used to be around Bounty Killer, you know what I mean, and
You were part of the alliance, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I even wrote a song called Alliance, basically. So after the Killer Not Trace song, Killer took an interest in my career. Then I started hanging out with him more regularly. He used to come pick me up every day, you know what I mean. So I started writing songs for him, pretty much for like a couple of years. I was touring with him, writing songs for him for numerous beats, you know what I mean. At the same time, doing my own thing. So when I got success with the Coolie Dance rhythm, the Guinness by the Case song, Feel Good, that's when I started like really focusing on myself, but still writing songs for him instead of writing songs for 10 different artists. You get what I mean? So yeah, so I was kind of writing songs for him exclusively, plus myself doing my own thing.
Was that something that you and Killer discussed? The Killer, because I know at that point in time, Killer must have known that you're also doing music with other people.
Yeah,
Was
what
that
happened?
something you and him ever discussed?
Honestly, what happened? I did a song for Elephant Man called I think Sick Chris. It was on the Higher Level album. If you check the Higher Level album, I'm on that album like 4 times. I have 2 songs with Elephant Man on that album, and I wrote 2 separate songs for him on the album. So I did a song called We Gon' Get This, and Elephant Man loved it. But I had a verse, he didn't allow me to do the verse. So after that I had a next song, We Got You Moving to the left, yo. Once again, he loved that song. Still didn't want me to do a verse. So from there, I was like, okay. So I ended up going to a Bounty Killer rehearsal once, and I was telling him like, yo, like I can do this, like, you know what I mean? I can really write dope songs, and I think like, I feel like you are a better voice to deliver the songs. And other than that, I see what you do for artists. You know what I mean? I realize like you give artists their props, you allow them to shine. So you know, he acted like he wasn't listening to me, blah blah blah. But from there, everything started falling into place, basically. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's a funny story right there. POR radio always exclusive, but now it's 2018. You're working on new music. We played a couple of songs, starting with the Chinese food. Explain the concept of the EP or LP. Explain to us the whole concept of the body of work that you're about to release.
All right. Chinese food is the reason why I chose the topic Chinese food, because a lot of people think I'm actually singing about food, which is pretty weird if you listen to the song. But the reason why I chose such a term is because people in the Western world think Chinese food is Chinese food. Like when you go to a Chinese food restaurant, everybody here thinks, oh, this is sold in China, this is Chinese food. But it's not. This is food that the Chinese people came over to our side of the world and realized, oh, you like this? All right, so we're gonna make this. So you come to the restaurant and you see Chinese people cooking this food and think they eat it, but they don't eat that food in their country, and it's not sold in their country. It doesn't exist. You can't find Kung Pao chicken nowhere in China. You know what I mean? And if you even check, they don't eat what they sell. You get what I mean? They never eat what they cook.
That's why I stopped eating Chinese. So I tell you, I understand exactly what you're saying. Because I used to go to the Chinese store and I order food, but I never see them in the back eating it.
They never
It
eat
started dawning on me. You know, I was younger then. It started dawning on me, and I stopped eating. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the store.
Yeah, so that's why I chose the term Chinese food, because we think, oh, it's Chinese food because we see Chinese people cooking it. But it's the same way when I do music, because of my accent and my background, people are gonna put me in a box. Oh, this is reggae or this is dancehall, and they can't do that, and they don't know where to place me. You get what I mean? So that's why I chose the term Chinese food, because sometimes I'm just doing music. I don't do music for a specific genre. You get what I mean? If you listen to the Chinese food song, it sounds like hip hop, but it's not really hip hop. You get what I mean? But people are gonna put it in a box because it's a Jamaican dude doing it, so it's dancehall or it's reggae. So it's the same thing. That's why I chose the term Chinese food.
Okay, so now that's the concept of the body of work.
Yeah.
So let's get in a little bit into the music itself, the production, and a little bit more about the project itself. When do you plan on releasing the project? How many songs is on the project?
There are 9 songs on the project right now. I plan to release it mid-spring, early summer. You know, just getting everything. The songs are already finalized, but it's getting the promotional part of it together first.
All right. I listened to the songs that we played earlier. Let me ask you a question. I see you come in the studio. I'm able to see the visual of the artist in front of me now. The listeners obviously can't. I see your swag, you know, as the young kids say. Your sound. It's also a fusion, as the artist we interviewed earlier. I would say you alluded to that earlier. It's not a typical dancehall sound, even though you come from that background. As far as production and as far as the sound that you're putting forward, what are the decisions behind that made you go that way?
It's just self-expression. You know what I mean? Like every song on the EP is produced by me and a friend of mine. Like everything was recorded in my house.
Are you living in New York or in the United States?
New York, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The influence, even though you grew up in Jamaica, you were born in Jamaica. I see you definitely assimilate yourself to the culture, and you're able to express yourself that the natives, that's what we call them, can understand as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate that about you because you're very talented, and
Thank
it
you.
comes across in the music. So I'm looking forward to the EP. What's the name of the project?
It's Chinese food.
You know, Chinese food. Once again. I kind of blocked that out of my mind, because I put it away. I lock it away, you know what I'm saying, in the place. I walk past them restaurants every day and I shake my head. But I understand the concept once again. Beautiful concept. The music, definitely something that I gravitate towards because you have that sound. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up in the States, you know what I'm saying? I mean, with transplants, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we assimilate into the culture. You know what I'm saying? That I could appreciate. So I definitely appreciate what you're doing. So look forward this spring, this summer for the Chinese Food Project from Jagwa. The singles, are they available now online?
Yeah, the singles are available everywhere basically. The last song, God Guide Me, might be a late addition to the project, but it's a song that I recorded like since 2012, but I just shot the video for it in California like last year.
That's what I was about to get to. Do you have a video out for the Chinese food?
Yeah.
Where can the listeners go to online to see you as far as social media, as far as seeing your visuals?
It's JAGWA876 on all platforms, from Instagram to SoundCloud to Facebook, YouTube, Vivo. Everything is JAGWA876.
876. I like that. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping it. All right. Performance-wise, you're going out. You know what I'm saying? You said you performed, you toured all over the world with Bounty Killer. Now you're moving out on your own. Is there shows that the fans can look forward to, or you doing shows currently by yourself that the listeners can?
Well, yeah, we Saturday, March 17th, y'all can come to Harlem and at the Misties and see us at the Love Her, which is a Tempo Networks production. So you can come and see us at that show. It will be me and Arita that was here earlier.
Okay, yeah. She
Doing
was
things. Yeah, so you can come out and I think there's another host of artists there. I'm not sure right now, but I can't remember their names. But everybody's gonna be there. You can come out and enjoy the show.
All social media platforms, Jagwa
876.
Look forward to the project coming out spring, summer.
Yeah, mid-spring, early summer.
Chinese food. Check them out on YouTube. Check out the videos for the releases thus far. And it's definitely a pleasure. Anytime you feel like coming back to the studio.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Shout out to Playbook NG, shout out to Tempo Networks, you know what I mean? Shout out to PR really, thank you for having me. My pleasure, you know what I mean? Big up to all the Caribbean people tuning in, all the natives as you call them, everybody, bless up.